cracking down on those that were selling out of their bags and out of their trunks and whatnot. They can get this negativity to overpower the positivity that was going on. So positivity wouldn't even have a place to breathe. But they also set out to control the entire black media so that they were the ones that decide what is put out. And the benefit that they didn't really realize, and once they did realize it, they capitalized on it, is that the negativity was driving black people to literally kill each other. And so they were like, well, we need more of that. And then they decided how to capitalize on that part. Well, if they start building more jails and prisons, invest in jails and prisons instead of schools, then what they can do is replace the population of black males that had been put in the jails and prison systems in the 70s and 80s. They could have a whole new generation of black males to repopulate the jails and prisons. And if they were able to keep it going, they could have the second phase of Willie Lynch, which could last, and they estimated at least 500 years of being able to make money for black people, being able to keep their control the black population, keep it low, and they would be able to make sure that black people were 100% under whites' control, just like on the plantation. So what they did was they were always already spreading guns and crack and trying to promote gang violence in the black community to keep the population low. But what they did was just connect the dots. They were like, okay, so if we could use the rap music that's coming along, the hip hop music, if we can turn it into what we want it to be and make sure that it promotes the things that we needed to promote as far as white folks was concerned. If they could get it to promote the things that they needed it to promote in order to keep the black population low, small, and inferior, then there would be no limit to how much money they could make, and they would never have to worry about the black population overpowering the white population. Okay? So that was the whole gist of the meetings that were going on in the 80s. So they simply laid out a plan that was to be worked on all the way to 1999, and then in 2000, the second phase of Willie Lynch would click in, and they estimated that over the next 500 years at least, they could have black people completely under control. I mean, completely. Male, female, children, everybody. And that was the reason that hip-hop was turned into what people thought was just rap, but it actually was turned into gangster rap. Okay? So you had people that you guys asked about, what happened to this person, what happened to that person, like Xzibit. You had people in the industry who basically sold their soul to white people, and then when they were no longer needed or they decided to buck, they were thrown under the bus or thrown under the jail, so to speak. White people they realized white people were the same as they were during the slave trade. They didn't care about you. They made money off of you. They sold you. They traded you. And then when you got to whatever, they either killed you or you were sold off to the next person and put, out to pasture or whatever the situation. The white people still had the same mentality. These were the children and grandchildren of the white slave owners, but they still had they felt the same exact way about black people. Didn't matter whether they were Republicans. I told you, Republicans wanted physical control of black people. You had white Democrats, they want financial control over black people. And you have liberals who literally want mental control over black people. That has not changed. So what ended up happening, you have the 50 cents. People were extreme. You guys were really angry at the whole 50 cent thing. But you guys created 50 Cent. You were all into him. You know, females were into him, males were into him. But when he started doing what his slave masters encouraged him to do, which is flaunting his money, piling his money up, you know, acting like an inferior Negro, you guys got really mad at him at that point, you know, but the monster had been created by then. The same thing with Mayweather. You guys created that monster, and now that monster is doing what white folks want him to do, showing that black people don't invest their money. They just, you know, throw it away. They just spend it. They all they care about is people, you know, showing off to people and uh, making it look like they got a bunch of stuff, and you know, giving it right back to white people. Um, you guys asked about Twister, and Twister was one of those that were brought in to gangster rap to really make it okay to be a womanizer. To you know, women love the whole uh, fast rap thing, and so he was saying things so fast that many of you didn't realize what his lyrics were actually saying. And by the time you realize what his lyrics were saying, your 4-year-old in the back was saying it. You know, so that's what it's for. That's why people are brought in. That's why people are paid. This person is paid over another person, while another person is shelved. You got white people that sit at a table and decide who they're going to give a contract to and who they're not. And they basically decide these contracts based on how negative the person is. If the person come in and they're positive, so you know, you got Jamie who wanted to do R&B, but they saw him as simply a person that could promote white supremacy better than anybody else. We definitely don't want an outspoken black male to be promoting blackness or promoting black females as beautiful and wonderful or anything like that. You know, in his show, he was all in love with this black woman, and she ended up being used to promote white males as superior. But it's the way that whites keep black males and black females promoting white people as superior and promoting black people as inferior. So this big thing, you know, came about for him to chase after this white woman. And, you know, he is in love with this white woman, would do anything for this white woman because she's just the most beautiful woman in the world, this white woman. And that's basically what all of his career has boiled down to, him chasing this one white woman. Uh, it really is ridiculous. They made the female from the show, you know, she became this Negro concubine of this white male, had children by this white male, and then white folks did what they do. They showed that, you know, no matter how beautiful she was, no matter how much money she had made, no matter how many things she had done, this white male used her, did what he did, and then they decided he didn't want her anymore. He wanted somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it really left her looking inferior. It left him looking superior, and that's the way that it is set up to be. Okay, so now uh,